It is time now to seek your rest. Find a quiet corner of the world, a place of softness and peace. Tonight, imagine a hidden cove where the sea whispers secrets to the shore. Here, the sand is not coarse, but fine and soft, like powdered sugar, still warm from the departed sun. Find a place where the gentle dunes curve, creating a natural shelter from the softest of breezes. Settle down into this warm, soft sand. Let it contour perfectly to your body, a gentle, earthly cradle. Above, the sky is a deep, velvety blanket, strewn with a fine dust of diamond-like stars. The only sound is the rhythmic hush of the waves, a constant, soothing lullaby that washes over you again and again. There is nothing to do but listen to the sea and let it carry you into a deep and peaceful slumber. Your sleep is deep and dreamless, a perfect, quiet void. But now, after a long and restorative rest, the first tendrils of awareness begin to return. It is not a sudden awakening, but a slow, gentle unfurling, like a fern in the morning sun. You are first aware of the profound comfort surrounding you, the impossible softness of the bed, the gentle weight of the duvet. A new light fills the space behind your closed eyes. Yesterday, it was the golden glow of twilight welcoming you. Today, it is a soft, pearlescent white, the color of the sky just before dawn. It is a clean, hopeful light, and it feels peaceful. It does not demand that you wake, but simply offers the gentle suggestion of a new day. The sounds are different now, too. The deep quiet of the night has been replaced by the softest of morning melodies. A single bird, somewhere in the silver birch trees, begins to sing a simple three-note song. It repeats its tune over and over, a gentle musical alarm clock set to the slowest possible speed. You can hear the distant, gentle clinking of what might be milk bottles and the faintest rustle of leaves in a morning breeze. You take a slow breath in. The air in the loft is cool and fresh, carrying the scent of morning dew and clean, damp earth. The scent of wood smoke is gone, replaced by something green and alive. You feel wonderfully rested, as though you have slept for 100 years, and every muscle, every fiber of your being has been perfectly restored. When you are ready, and only when you are ready, you allow your eyelids to drift open. The round window at the head of your bed is no longer a portal to a moonlit sky, but a frame for a beautiful watercolor painting. The sky outside is a soft gray, blushing with the palest pink at the horizon. The leaves of the birch trees are a tender green, each one holding a tiny, perfect droplet of dew. A single beam of this early light angles through the window, illuminating the air in the loft. You can see tiny dust motes dancing in the beam, swirling in a slow, silent ballet. It is mesmerizing, and you watch them for a long moment, feeling completely at peace, completely present in this quiet, beautiful morning. You stretch your arms and legs, a slow, luxurious movement. There are no aches, no stiffness. You feel light and clear. You push back the heavy duvet, noticing the fine, soft linen of the sheets against your skin.
The air is cool, but not cold. It is pleasant. You swing your legs over the side of the low bed, your bare feet meeting the smooth, wide planks of the wooden floor. The wood is cool, but not shocking. It feels solid and grounding beneath your feet. You make your way to the sturdy ladder and begin your descent from the loft. Each step is sure and steady. The main room of the cottage is bathed in the same soft gray morning light that filters through the front window. The room looks different in this new light. It is just as cozy, but somehow softer, quieter. The stone hearth is dark and cool now, a pile of soft gray ash, all that remains of last night's cheerful fire. The great armchair sits patiently, its knitted blanket folded neatly now, as if someone had come in and tidied while you slept. Your gaze falls upon the small wooden table. The welcome basket is still there. The red apple is shiny and perfect. The cheese is wrapped in a cool wax paper, and the loaf of bread seems to call to you. You walk over and touch its crust. It is still soft. You can imagine the kind, elderly dwarf from the gilded hearth rising before dawn to bake these loaves for the village. You decide to take a piece. The bread tears with a soft, satisfying sound. The inside is fluffy and light. You dip a corner into the jar of wildflower honey. The honey is thick and golden, the color of sunshine. The taste is sweet and simple, a perfect start to a peaceful day. You eat slowly, savoring the flavor, standing by the window and watching the world outside begin to wake. Having satisfied your slight morning hunger, you feel a gentle pull to step outside, to breathe the morning air properly. You walk to the forest green door. Your hand rests on the cool iron latch. You lift it with a soft click and pull the door inward, revealing the morning in all its quiet glory. The air that greets you is cool, crisp, and alive. It smells of damp earth, wet leaves, and the sweet perfume of lavender. You step out onto the small stone step, and your bare feet find the grass of your garden. The grass is wet with dew, a cool, tickling sensation that is surprisingly pleasant. Each blade is tipped with a glistening jewel of water. The moonflowers that glowed so brightly last night are now closed, their white petals furled tightly, sleeping in the daylight. But the lavender plants are awake and vibrant, their purple spires reaching towards the brightening sky. A few sleepy bumblebees are already at work, buzzing with a low, contented hum as they move from flower to flower. You take a slow, deep breath, filling your lungs with the clean, calming scent. You walk slowly through your little garden, simply observing. You notice a spider web spun between two lavender stems. It is a masterpiece of engineering, and the morning dew has transformed it into a necklace of tiny shimmering diamonds catching the morning light. You feel a desire to walk, to see more of HavenWood in the morning. You follow the soft, mossy path that leads away from your cottage, back toward the village. The world feels fresh and new, washed clean by the night. The silver birch trees that line the path seem to glow, their white bark almost luminous in the soft light. The path is quiet,
The only sounds are the crunch of your footsteps on the damp earth, the song of the birds in the canopy above, and the gentle rustle of leaves as a small squirrel scampers up a tree trunk. It watches you for a moment with bright, curious eyes before disappearing into the foliage. You pass the other homes again. The round door of the hillside home is open, and you can see the faint, welcoming glow of a fire being kindled within. From the tall elven tree home, you hear the sound of a harp being played. The music is not a performance, but a quiet, personal melody, like someone idly strumming as they watch the morning arrive. As you draw closer to the village square, the soft dirt path gives way once more to the smooth, gray cobblestones. They are damp and dark from the morning dew, reflecting the pale pink and blue of the sky above. The air here carries a different collection of scents. The aroma of baking bread is stronger now, mingled with the smell of roasting coffee and something sweet, like cinnamon buns. The village square is quiet, but not empty. It is filled with a gentle, purposeful activity. The elderly dwarf you saw last night is sweeping the steps in front of his bakery, the gilded hearth. He moves with a slow, steady rhythm, and he hums a low, rumbling tune. He gives you a brief, kind glance and a small nod, a simple greeting that requires no reply.
A tall, graceful elf with long silver hair is tending to the window boxes on the Whispering Page bookshop. She moves with an unhurried elegance, watering the small bell-shaped flowers with a copper watering can. A large, fluffy ginger cat is curled on the bookshop's windowsill, basking in the first direct rays of sun that are now piercing through the morning haze.
The great oak tree in the center of the square stands majestic and serene. The fay lights from last night are gone, having retreated deep into the leaves to sleep through the day. In their place, small brown sparrows flit between the branches, chirping and chattering to one another, their cheerful sounds filling the square with life. You see a building you didn't notice last night, tucked between a shop selling colorful hand-woven fabrics and another that seems to be an apothecary, its windows filled with jars of dried herbs. This new building has a simple wooden sign shaped like a steaming mug. The words, "The Silver Kettle," are painted on it in elegant silver script. A thin wisp of steam curls from a small chimney on its roof, and the door is propped open with a smiling, carved wooden gnome. It is a cafe, and the idea of a warm drink feels wonderfully inviting. You walk towards it, your footsteps making soft sounds on the damp cobblestones. You step inside the Silver Kettle. The air within is warm and fragrant, a comforting blend of chamomile, mint, and something spicy like ginger. The room is small and cozy, filled with round, dark wood tables and mismatched, comfortable-looking armchairs. Sunlight streams through a large window, illuminating the swirling steam that rises from several mugs on the tables. The cafe is not busy. A pair of fawns sit in one corner, engaged in a silent game of chess with pieces carved from acorns and twigs. In another chair, a large, gentle-looking satyr is reading a book, his horns just barely brushing against the low ceiling. The atmosphere is one of profound, shared peace. Behind a long wooden counter stands a centaur.
His human torso is clad in a simple linen shirt, and he is carefully polishing a silver teapot until it shines. He looks up as you enter, and his expression is calm and welcoming. He doesn't speak, but simply inclines his head, waiting for you to approach.
You walk to the counter. On a slate board behind him, a list of teas is written in beautiful chalk lettering. Chamomile Calm, Sun-Kissed Mint, Ginger Glow, Dream Root. You choose the Sun-Kissed Mint. The centaur gives another gentle nod and turns to a collection of large glass jars filled with dried leaves and flowers. He spoons a measure of bright green, dried mint leaves into a small ceramic pot. He moves with a quiet efficiency that is calming to watch. He pours hot water from a large silver kettle, and a cloud of fragrant minty steam billows into the air. He then places the pot, a strainer, and a simple earthenware mug on a small wooden tray and slides it across the counter to you. You find an empty armchair by the large window. It is soft and deep, and you sink into it with a sigh of contentment. You pour the tea into your mug. It is a beautiful pale green color. You lift the mug to your face and inhale the clean, refreshing scent of mint. It feels cleansing and calming at the same time. The mug is warm in your hands, a pleasant, solid weight. You take a small sip. The tea is warm and smooth, the flavor bright and invigorating, yet gentle. You sit there for a long time, sipping your tea and watching the quiet life of the village square unfold outside the window. You watch the ginger cat stretch languidly in the sun. You watch the elf finish her watering and disappear into the bookshop. There is no need to hurry. No one in HavenWood seems to hurry. Everything is done with a slow, deliberate grace. It is a way of life that seeps into your own being, slowing your thoughts, calming your spirit. You feel completely at ease, a quiet observer in a world of perfect peace. After finishing your tea, you feel a gentle curiosity to see more. You leave the warm mug on the table, giving a small nod to the centaur, who nods back. You step back out into the square. The sun is a little higher now, and the air is warmer. The dampness has left the cobblestones, and they are now a pale, soft gray. You notice a path leading away from the square on the opposite side from which you arrived. It seems to head downward, towards what you now realize is the sound of water you heard so faintly from your cottage. You decide to follow it. This path is wider, paved with flat, smooth stones. The path winds gently down a slope. The buildings give way to willow trees, their long, graceful branches swaying in the breeze. The air begins to smell different here. It carries the clean, fresh scent of a large body of water and the faint, pleasant smell of sun-drenched wood. The sound of water lapping against a shore grows louder and more distinct. The path opens up, and you find yourself standing at the edge of a large, placid lake. The water is incredibly clear, a beautiful shade of turquoise near the shore, deepening to a dark sapphire further out. The surface is almost perfectly still, disturbed only by the gentlest of ripples that make the sunlight dance and sparkle. A long, wooden dock stretches out over the water. It is old and weathered,
the wood bleached to a soft silver by the sun and water. Several small boats are tied to its posts. They are simple, beautifully crafted wooden boats, some with small sails neatly furled, others looking like simple rowboats. They bob gently, rhythmically on the water, their ropes creaking softly. You walk out onto the dock. Your footsteps make a hollow, resonant sound on the wooden planks. The sun is warm on your skin. You walk to the very end and sit down, dangling your feet just above the surface of the water. The water is cool and inviting, and you can see smooth, colorful pebbles on the lake bed below. Across the lake, the gentle, rolling hills are covered in a dense green forest. In the distance, you can see the peaks of blue-gray mountains, their tops shrouded in a soft white mist. It is a view of immense, silent beauty. There is no one else here. You have this peaceful moment all to yourself. Far out in the middle of the lake, there is a large, flat rock that juts out from the water. At first, you think it is just a rock. But as you look closer, you see a slow, rhythmic movement. A plume of smoke, like a sleepy sigh, puffs from one end. It is a dragon, a large green dragon, fast asleep in the warm morning sun. Its scales are the color of moss and emeralds, and they shimmer in the light. Its great body is curled up, its head resting on its tail. It looks not fearsome, but profoundly peaceful. Its presence feels ancient and comforting, a silent guardian of the lake and the village. You watch the slow, steady rise and fall of its side as it breathes. The sound of the water lapping gently against the wooden posts of the dock is hypnotic. The warmth of the sun on your back is deeply relaxing. You feel a pleasant sense of peacefulness, a gentle drowsiness that comes not from exhaustion, but from complete contentment. You could sit here forever, just watching the light on the water. After a long, timeless while, you feel the gentle pull to return to your own quiet space. You stand up, stretching in the warm sun, and begin the slow walk back up the path, away from the lake. The view of the sleeping dragon is the last thing you see before the willow trees obscure the water once more. You walk back through the village square. The sun is higher in the sky now, marking the middle of the day. The square is still quiet, though a few more residents are out and about. Two young dwarves are sitting on the bench beneath the great oak, sharing an apple. A group of fae, looking like tiny winged children, are chasing a floating bubble that shimmers with all the colors of the rainbow. The scene is idyllic, peaceful. There is no loud chatter, only the soft murmur of conversation and the light, tinkling laughter of the fae. You pass through the square, feeling like a part of it all now, and find the mossy path that leads back to your cottage. The walk back feels different. The path is now dappled with bright sunlight and deep shadows, the patterns shifting as the leaves above dance in the breeze. The air is warmer and filled with the drowsy hum of insects. It feels familiar, welcoming. It feels like coming home.
Soon you see it through the trees. Your small stone cottage looking sturdy and safe in the daylight. The thatched roof is a warm golden brown in the sun. The green door seems to be waiting for you. You walk through your garden, the scent of lavender now strong and heady in the warm air. You step back inside, and the cool, dim interior is a welcome respite from the midday sun. You close the door, and the quiet of your own space envelops you once again. The cottage feels lived in now, familiar. It feels like yours. You feel a pleasant, gentle weariness from your quiet explorations. You are not tired, but deeply relaxed. Your gaze falls upon the overstuffed armchair by the hearth. It looks even more inviting than it did last night. You walk over to it and sink into its soft, deep cushions. From this chair, you can see out the front window. You can see your garden and the silver birch trees beyond. It is a perfect, peaceful view. You lean your head back and close your eyes for a moment, just feeling the comfort of the chair, listening to the profound silence of your cottage. Your eyes drift to the bookshelf along the back wall. So many stories, waiting patiently. You feel a gentle inclination to choose one, not for a grand adventure, but for a quiet companion. You rise from the chair and let your fingers trail along the spines of the old leather-bound books. The books feel wonderful to the touch. The leather is soft and worn, the titles embossed in faded gold leaf. They smell of old paper, ink, and time. You choose a small, simple volume with no title on its spine. It feels light in your hands. You return to the armchair and settle back into its embrace. You open the book. The pages are thick and creamy, the text written in a beautiful flowing hand, not printed by a machine. It seems to be a collection of poems about the seasons in HavenWood. You don't need to read it intently. You simply let your eyes scan the graceful words, taking in phrases here and there. Sunlight on the water steps. The silver hush of falling snow. Lavender dreams in summer's haze. The words themselves are calming, painting gentle pictures in your mind. The light coming through the window begins to change. The bright white of midday softens, turning to a warm golden hue as the afternoon begins its slow drift towards evening. The shadows of the trees outside grow long and elegant, stretching across your garden. The book rests open in your lap, your hand resting on the soft page. Your breathing has become slow and deep. The gentle rhythm of the day, the quiet walk, the warm tea, the comfortable chair, it has all led you to this moment of perfect, profound relaxation. You feel ready for rest once more. There is no need to climb to the loft just yet. This chair is a haven in itself. You let your head rest against the soft back and allow your eyes to drift closed again. The peaceful images of your day in HavenWood float gently in your mind. The sleeping dragon, the sparkling lake, the kind nod from the dwarf baker. This place, this HavenWood, will be here for you. The quiet cafe, the peaceful dock, and this perfect, cozy cottage. They are all here, waiting for you whenever you need to rest. But for now, let the gentle drowsiness take you. Let the peace of this moment be your lullaby, guiding you back towards the soft, welcoming state of sleep. Rest now. All is well.